The MMA world is in total chaos, and the questions are flying faster than a knockout punch. We have to start with the burning question surrounding Carlos Ulberg and his future at light heavyweight after that legendary comeback win, because everyone wants to know if he is really going to be forced to vacate that belt, or if the UFC has a different plan in store. It is an absolute fustercluck at 205, and with Ulberg facing a long road to recovery, the scramble for the title has already begun.
Your brand new iPhone deserves the best protection, and the iLune 3-pack screen protector plus 3-pack camera lens protector has you covered. Don't take risks with your iPhone. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Then we have the massive jump that Alex Pereira is attempting as he moves up to heavyweight to clash with Ciryl Gane at the historic White House card. People are questioning if the added weight will slow down the Brazilian machine, or if he is truly on his way to making history as a three-division champion. Poten is keeping his cool and embracing the challenge, while everyone else wonders if that legendary power will translate to the heavyweight ranks. The debate surrounding this event is heating up as legends of the sport weigh in with totally different perspectives. Nate Diaz is calling the upcoming White House card absolutely badass and is giving major props to Alex Pereira for his inclusion in such a historic night. This stands in stark contrast to the harsh criticism coming from Ronda Rousey, who is calling the whole thing an oligarch moves fest, while she prepares for her own massive return on a rival platform. Even the betting markets are losing their minds over the upcoming showdown at UFC Freedom 250, as Alex Pereira has surprisingly emerged as the betting favorite against Ciryl Gane. The money is moving fast, and the odds show this is going to be a high-stakes battle for the interim heavyweight title that you cannot afford to miss. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an update on these stories as they develop. The MMA world is officially in a total fustercluck, and it all starts with the new light heavyweight king, Carlos Ulberg. After that insane, history-making knockout of Jiří Procházka, we found out Ulberg did it all on a torn ACL. Now he's facing surgery and an almost year-long layoff, which leads us to the big question: does he vacate the belt? Historically, the UFC doesn't have the patience for year-long injury breaks. Just look at how they handled the lightweight division. I'm skeptical they let him keep the gold. My prediction? Khamzat Chimaev beats Sean Strickland next month, vacates the middleweight strap, and moves up to set the stage for an interim title fight. We're likely looking at a scenario where Alex Pereira battles for the heavyweight title at UFC White House, and depending on that result, the promotion finds a way to move the 205-pound belt to Chimaev, possibly against a guy like Paulo Costa. It's chaos, but that's the reality of the game right now. Moving over to the heavyweight scene, everyone is buzzing about the Derek Lewis versus Hackett clash. People are worried it might be a snooze fest, but I honestly don't think so. Lewis is long past his prime, but he knows his only path to victory is to hunt for that one massive knockout. Meanwhile, Hackett is all gas and no brakes. It's a stylistic collision that almost guarantees fireworks. And as for the Hackett hype, potentially threatening Tom Aspinall. Let's be real, the heavyweight division is starving for depth. A rising star like Hackett is actually the perfect foil for Aspinall. It gives the champ a high-interest fight against someone who isn't quite at his level yet, which is basically the golden ticket in this sport. I also had to get on my soapbox regarding the Hall of Fame. The current system is frankly ridiculous. Limiting it to one fight a year, with the hundreds of bouts happening annually, the UFC is never going to catch up to its own history. We need to be inducting more fights, and frankly, some KOs and submissions deserve a spot on that mantle, too. And yes, seeing Abraham Lincoln in the National Wrestling Hall of Fame remains the single most absurd honor in combat sports history. Finally, we have to address the elephant in the room, Jon Jones. Is he really done? I think so. Jones is a master of keeping his name in the headlines, but the math just doesn't work for the UFC anymore. They don't want a fighter who might win the belt and immediately walk away again. Unless he takes a massive pay cut, we've likely seen the last of him. If he does return, it's only for a legacy superfight like a clash with Pereira or a surreal swan song against Israel Adesanya. That's the state of the game for now. But I want to hear from you. What's your take on the light heavyweight mess? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to send in your questions for next week's mailbag. Stay tuned, Keep training, and remember, in this sport, the only thing guaranteed is that everything can change in a single punch. What if I told you the most dangerous man in the UFC is currently trading his shredded abs for a bit of a belly? That is exactly the reality for Alex "Potent" Pereira as he prepares to make history this June. We are talking about a man aiming to become the first-ever three-division champion, a feat that would cement his status as a combat sports legend. But moving up to heavyweight isn't just about showing up. It is a tactical evolution. While critics are busy buzzing about whether this leap is a bridge too far, citing Jon Jones's agonizing 3-year transition as the gold standard, Pereira is moving at his own relentless pace. He's been refreshingly honest, admitting the weight gain is a bit difficult, but his confidence is unshakable. He told fans to wait for the transformation, promising he will look like a machine once the real camp starts. It's a fascinating gamble, especially since he's not rushing his body, but the matchup against Ciryl Gane plays right into his hands. Gane isn't your prototypical heavyweight mauler. He relies on technical striking rather than sheer physical bullying, which might just give Potent the perfect runway to showcase his power at a new weight. So, is this the greatest career pivot we have ever seen, or are we watching a fighter push his luck a step too far? I want to hear your take. Drop a comment below and let me know if you think Potent has what it takes to conquer the giants. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the fight game, smash that like button and subscribe for more, because history is being written and you definitely don't want to miss the next chapter. Think the octagon belongs in a stadium? Think again. The fight world just got flipped on its head because Nate Diaz, the ultimate anti-establishment icon, has officially given his blessing to the UFC's upcoming White House event. That is right, the Stockton brawler called the move to bring elite MMA to the doorstep of American power absolutely badass. While everyone expected the usual grit from Nate, his praise for the inclusion of Alex Pereira shows a different side of the veteran, one that truly respects the spectacle of national pride. But here is where the drama heats up. While Nate is cheering from the sidelines, Ronda Rousey is hitting hard with a serious reality check. She is not buying the hype, labeling the exclusive White House card an oligarch Moose Fest and arguing that our sport belongs to the fans, not a VIP guest list. It is a fascinating clash of philosophies. On one side, you have the establishment expansion, on the other, the demand for accessibility. This isn't just talk, though. We are witnessing a massive shift in how the industry operates. With Diaz headlining the Netflix undercard against Mike Perry this May, he is essentially straddling both worlds, signaling a new era where fighters might hold the cards in cross-platform deals. Does this tension between the UFC and these new streaming giants actually hurt the sport, or is it the spark we need to force better opportunities for the athletes? It is a high-stakes game of chess, and we are just the audience watching the board get wider. If you want to stay ahead of these shifting power dynamics and never miss a beat inside the cage, hit that link in the description to join our UFC News WhatsApp group for instant updates. We want to hear from you. Is the White House fight a historic milestone or an elitist misstep? Drop your take in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the pulse of combat sports. After all, in a world where fighters are becoming their own media empires, the only thing guaranteed is that the next round will be anything but predictable. Can Alex Pereira really conquer a third weight class, or is he finally biting off more than he can chew? The MMA world is buzzing as we approach UFC Freedom 250 on June 14, 2026, where Potent will step into the heavyweight division to face Ciryl Gane. What makes this match truly wild isn't just the history on the line, it's the betting market's sudden and aggressive pivot in favor of Pereira. Despite moving up to face a legitimate heavyweight powerhouse, Pereira has emerged as the slight betting favorite. It is a stunning reversal of the initial narrative, especially considering Gane opened as a significant -185 favorite in some books. Now, we are looking at a virtual pick'em, with money pouring in on the Brazilian's legendary knockout power. This fight carries massive implications, with the interim heavyweight title hanging in the balance and the potential for Pereira to etch his name as the first-ever three-division UFC champion. For Gane, it is a high-stakes redemption arc after his recent career turbulence, and he remains a dangerous, mobile, and technical hurdle that few can navigate. The betting props tell an even more vivid story. The books are banking on a Pereira finish early, while Gane is viewed as the man who wins if this battle drags into the championship rounds. It forces us to ask, is Pereira's aura of invincibility enough to bridge the gap in size, or will Gane's heavyweight pedigree finally prove too much to overcome? If you think Pereira's historic run is unstoppable, hit that like button and let me know your pick in the comments. Will we witness history in Washington, D.C., or does size still matter most in the fight game?